Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Lexus. The new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing too high. Well, we stepped outside this morning and it was cool. So the roof is open here at Minute Maid Park. These fans have come to see the opener of a 10-game homestand. The Astros playing 3 with the Twins. Then Seattle comes in for 4, followed by Cleveland for 3 next Monday through Wednesday. So a lengthy opportunity for these fans to settle in. It's a Keuchel's Corner night. And you know what that has meant down through the last year plus with Dallas Keuchel in this ballpark. Bart just talked about it earlier, but there's been some kind of magic. And it hasn't been just a few nights of magic for Dallas Keuchel.
Pretty amazing, Brownie. 17-0 for Dallas over his last 22 starts right here in this building. And in that span, the ball club is 20-2. So, I mean, that just tells you that he's kept them right in every ball game. Just keeps on winning. When you look at what's happened this year for Dallas, however, on the heels of the Cy Young Award, 2-3 with a 4.41 ERA, and that whip up considerably from last year. Dallas has some work to do and would love to turn it around right here and now.
Paul Molitor has this lineup for the Minnesota Twins. It's Danny Santana in center field, Brian Dozier at second base, Joe Mauer at first, Miguel Sano in right field. The DH is Byung-Ho Park with shortstop Eduardo Escobar, left fielder Eddie Rosario, catcher John Ryan Murphy, and third baseman Eduardo Nunez, and the pitcher is the rookie Jose Berrios. Corner infielders are pinched in for Danny Santana, the switch hitting center fielder. And the first pitch to him is strike one. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, is the home plate umpire. Santana opens play at 297 tonight with 1 RBI. Upstairs from Keuchel, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. This is start number 2 of this season at home for Dallas Keuchel. He pitched shutout ball here in a 1-0 win over Detroit April 15th. His other 4 starts have all been away from Minute Maid. He had some good action on that one, Ash.
That's the changeup, and he spots it well. First 2 fastballs, one in a pretty good location, the other one he leaves up. But that changeup, a great equalizer.
You may have noticed he's 2-1 in his career against Minnesota. That's flicked foul, but last year he beat the Twins here. However, he allowed 3 home runs in that game.
Pretty amazing. In that winning streak span, he's allowed 5 home runs and 3 in that one game.
And the Astros got a big late homer from Jed Lowry, a grand slam to give Keuchel the win that night. Breaking pitch comes in on Santana. It's 2-2. The Twins are in the doldrums. They've lost 4 in a row. They just ended a 2-4 homestand before heading for Houston. They're 7-18. That's a foul tip strikeout to open the game for Keuchel.
Right back to that changeup to get the strike zone. And now we've got our look at the MD Anderson strike zone. As we look at what Dallas did, he stayed away most of the time. The breaking ball was inside, but that changeup just off the outside edge to be able to pick up that strikeout.
Well, the Twins, like the Astros, were a major surprise last year. They were 83-79 in contention right down to the late stages of the season for a wild card berth. There's ball 1 to Brian Dozier. He was one of their stars last year, an all-star. 184 with 3 homers for Dozier this season. Keuchel brings it in to even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Dozier had 19 home runs at the All-Star break last season. He wound up hitting 28, driving in 77 runs. It's 2 balls and a strike to Dozier, who's 29 years old in another couple of weeks. He's from Tupelo, Mississippi, and went to the University of Southern Mississippi. The shift is on for him. He hits that one out toward left center field, and this one will be a gapper. Bouncing off that wall in front of the bullpen, picked up by Colby Rasmus, and it's a 1-out double for Dozier.
Just perfectly spotted in the gap in left center field. Dozier's a dangerous hitter anyway. Brownie said off to a bit of a slow start this year, but a fine all-star from a year ago. Dallas had left one already through the heart of the plate. This one finds more than he would like. This is our Mattress Firm Super Mo, and it's such a great shot. Get to take that tremendous peek at what the hitters are doing down on the field. But again, perfectly gapped.
Now it's Joe Mauer batting, and Mauer has returned to his good form of a few years ago. Mauer takes, and there's strike one to Joe, a .337 hitter with 1 homer, 8 runs batted in. He has been on base in all 25 games the Twins have played. He has passed Harmon Killebrew for 5th on the all-time Twins hit list back on April 18th. And for a strike, 0-2. And Mauer has had the well-documented concussion problems the last couple of years, and he said this spring that that had affected his vision. He's been doing a lot of work on vision training, and it has made a world of difference.
Just taking a couple of fastballs from Keuchel with that man on second and 1 out.
These two teams have some similarities, 1 and 2, not in a positive way. Both have struggled to hit with men in scoring position this year. They were 3-3 against each other last year. Very pleasant evening. Miguel Sano, the slugging right fielder's on deck. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mauer, who's really known the strike zone well this season. He has drawn 20 walks, and he has struck out only 9 times.
He has become very much about on-base percentage. It's really not the run producer that you might expect for the 3-hitter in this Twins lineup.
Mauer looks at ball 3, and it's a full count to Mauer. Keuchel with a deep breath. He gave up 5 runs in 6 innings in his last start Tuesday, a loss at Seattle. Including the postseason, he has won 18 straight games at Minute Maid Park. That game, though, last time out for Dallas was close, 1-0 Seattle until the 5th inning. And the Mariners broke through for 4 more runs against him. That's ball 4. Mauer checked his swing to draw a 1-out walk. Runners at first and second for Sano with 1 out.
Seems to be about job 1 for Joe Mauer. Try to reach via the walk any way you can, and so he passes the baton. Dallas Keuchel, now if he can get one of his patented ground balls, get the double play and get out of this frame.
Keuchel now has walked 14. He's in his 33rd inning. Last year he walked 51 in 232 innings. Sano is a threat. 3 homers, 11 runs batted in, a .258 average for the young outfielder, formerly a third baseman. Bouncer Keuchel, Altuve, and Marwin Gonzalez. 1-4-3 double play, and Keuchel throws up a 0. The Astros are up against Berrios in just a moment. Trouble. Now the Astros come up in a scoreless game. Here's their starting lineup for AJ Hinch, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jose Altuve hit another leadoff homer yesterday, his 4th of the season. He's the second baseman with George Springer playing right field. Batting third at shortstop is Carlos Correa. In center field, the cleanup man is Colby Rasmus. The DH, Evan Gattis, bats 5th, followed by left fielder Preston Tucker, first baseman Marwin Gonzalez, third baseman Luis Valbuena, and catcher Jason Castro.
And on the mound for Minnesota, 21-year-old rookie right-hander Jose Berrios from Puerto Rico, Bayamon to be exact. He's made one major league start to this point. That came on April 27th. That came against the Cleveland Indians. And he worked just 4 innings, allowing 6 hits and 5 runs. They were all earned. Also a couple of walks in that outing.
Number 2 prospect of the Minnesota Twins coming into this season, according to Baseball America. Very highly regarded. Jose Altuve led off the game yesterday in Oakland, crushing a 1-1 high breaking ball into the left field seats to give the Astros the early lead on their way to a 2-1 win. One of 7 home runs he's hit this season. He's driven in 14. That smash goes foul outside third base.
Altuve got that first pitch fastball and was ready to rake, and raking is what he does best. Tell you what, he really swings the bat. On a pace that puts him well ahead of last year's career high with the 15 dingers.
That looked like the changeup. No, that was 94, Ash. That's not a changeup.
He's got a good arm, mid-90s with that fastball, and now we'll see how it plays out. Again, just his second major league start.
He had some good late movement to it. And now the sweeping breaking ball. Berrios was a first-round pick, late first round in 2012. Byron Buxton, who's now in the minor leagues, was the first pick of the Twins that year, second pick overall after Carlos Correa had been chosen number 1 overall. Berrios and Correa grew up competing against each other and even played together some in Puerto Rico. Bouncer third goes foul, and Berrios was the 32nd player drafted that year in 2012. Last year he led the minor leagues in strikeouts with 175 while reducing his walk rate. And he holds base runners, fields the position well. A lot to like about Jose Berrios.
You mentioned the same draft as Carlos Correa. Berrios was the second Puerto Rican drafted in that particular draft.
Altuve's moved back. 2-2. Berrios had a rough time in that first major league start 5 days ago, losing to the Indians, giving up 6 hits and 5 runs in 4 innings. It was a cold day, 44 degrees. There was a rain delay as a part of that. So now start number 2 as a major leaguer. Broken bat looper. Second baseman Dozier slides, and he got his glove underneath it for a hustling out number 1 for Dozier.
That's one of the tougher pop flies to the infield you'll ever see, and if that ball avoids landing in Dozier's glove, it's an infield single guaranteed. What an effort. I think Dozier knew he was in an all-out battle right there.
That was a quick sprint in there. He's checking his left hand as George Springer settles into the box. Now Berrios' fastball sits at 93 to 95. You've seen it there. Springer takes a look at ball 1. Springer, a .267 hitter with 4 homers, has 11 runs batted in. George went 1 for 10 in the Oakland series, and they snapped his 15-game on-base streak as he went 0 for 4 yesterday, but he made a heck of a catch in right field in the 2-1 win, robbing Coco Crisp. That goes to short. Escobar, 2 outs for Berrios. And now the long-awaited matchup of these two friends from Puerto Rico, Berrios and Correa. As Ash mentioned, Berrios is from Bayamon, and Carlos, who didn't grow up too far from there, gives it a shot now in his first major league at bat against his longtime friend. Correa with 3 homers, 9 runs batted in, has a .264 batting average. He was 3 for 19 on the road trip. There's ball one, and as they were growing up, Barrios pitched a no-hitter against a team of Puerto Rican All-Stars, including Carlos Correa in that game. They have a pretty lengthy history in amateur baseball and a little bit in the minor leagues of competing against each other. Foul ball makes it 1-1.
Love to see this childhood matchup rematch here. I think Carlos Correa going again, swinging that bat with authority, and that was a good swing as he fouls it back. Just kind of take that pride of what you had back when you were kids.
He looks at a close one. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Correa has walked 15 times.
Just under the strike zone.
Correa lays off, and it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Correa said that even in high school, Barrios was throwing in the upper 90s. Barrios had a 1.06 ERA for 3 AAA starts before coming up. And there's a 2-out walk. Correa's aboard for Colby Rasmus.
Jack in the Box takes us inside the box score now as we take a look at Colby Rasmus and what he's been doing in situational hitting this year. With the bases empty, not much. Runners on, he is bringing it up, and then runners in scoring position, he's been the man. He has been a guy that has shown he's ready to tear it up, drive in runs for this club. You put 2 outs out there, 500.
The shift is on as usual for Colby. Colby hit a sac fly in yesterday's 2-1 win in Oakland. Starting in center field for the 3rd straight game, but Carlos Gomez was telling us before the game tonight he's feeling much better and available for duty now. 253 for Rasmus, 7 homers. He's driven in 20. That's 3rd in the American League. Evan Gattis is on deck. And for a strike, 0-2. Twins have been a banged up starting rotation. They have lost their top 2 starting pitchers to the disabled list. There's how close that one was.
That's how tough at bats can be in the big leagues. That first strike right there at the bottom of the knees. The next one called a strike off the outside edge. So get yourself ready.
So Paul Molitor, their manager, as the throw goes to first, pretty close, is doing without his number 1 and 2 starters this year. Both injured, Erwin Santana and Kyle Gibson on the disabled list right now for Paul Molitor.
What a job Paul Molitor did last year with that Twins club.
Terrific. They were not expected to do anything, and especially not expected to hang in there the way they did. In the dirt, and it's 1-2. The Astros are 8-17. The Twins are 7-18 on this gorgeous night in Houston. By winning yesterday, the Astros picked up a game on first place Texas and second place Seattle. The Mariners will be here Thursday night for the first of a 4-game set. Should be a most interesting early season series. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What did you and Blummer think of Seattle when the Astros played there a few days ago?
It was cool up there the entire 3 days, but it was nice, and they were able to play with the roof open at some of the time. But you know, it's a great city, and always really a pleasure to go up there. It's such a beautiful ballpark.
Happy 70th to somebody out there tonight. And apparently a city with a much better team this season from the way it looked.
They appear to be so, and they're being led right now by a guy that went into the series not hot, but came out of the series red hot, leading the league in RBIs. Robinson Cano played very well.
Rasmus is down on strikes to end a scoreless first inning in Houston.
Dennis with you. Astros and Twins scoreless as we move to the top of the second. Hey, join the Astros at Minute Maid Park this Saturday as 10,000 fans will receive a Dallas Keuchel Cy Young Gold Glove bobblehead presented by Houston Methodist. Go to Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more information. Of course, they love Dallas here, and with great reason. He's pitched so well here, but you know, last season, during this home winning streak, Dallas has allowed 5 home runs. 3 of them came in this game on September 6th against these Minnesota Twins. Brian Dozier hit one. Eduardo Escobar hit one. It was a game that the Astros actually trailed 2-0 until they exploded in the 7th for 5 runs. Jed Lowry with a grand slam there. But Dallas, you know, that's how it goes, guys. When you're hot, you get a little luck, you get some run support, you get some good fielding behind you, and it all adds up to a 17-game winning streak right here at Minute Maid Park. That's the grand slam off the bat of Jed Lowry that sort of saved the day. The Astros trailed 2-0 at one point, but Dallas hung in there, and his team came through for him.
Byung Ho Park, the batter. The count is 2-1 as this scoreless game moves along to the second inning. He's a 29-year-old rookie hitting .232, 6 homers, 9 runs batted in, native of Seoul, South Korea. And the changeup finds him out in front, 2-2. We understand that of his 6 homers, there has not been a cheapie. Ash, he has been belting the ball after hitting 53 homers for the Nexen club last year.
This guy had a slow start his first couple of years in Korea, but came on strong in his last couple.
Well, he loops with about a half swing, a single into right field, punching that one for a 2-strike hit, and that's hit number 2 for the Twins. Could be a good sign for the Twins because from what we've read about him, he's just been swinging for the downs so far this season.
It's pretty much what he's been about. By the way, back to Bart real quickly. That grand slam by Jed Lowry last year, that was one of the swings for those of us following the team we will not soon forget.
Now it's Eduardo Escobar batting. And the shortstop with a .256 average has driven in 5. So Keuchel, who got himself out of first and second 1-out situation with a double play ball, will try to get another one here. And delivers strike 1.
That's the kind of paint you're looking for from Dallas. Just carving that outside edge.
Escobar is 27, has driven in 5 runs. Last year he drove in 58. Switch hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But this is what I've been seeing with Dallas this season, and it didn't show up at all during the spring, is one really good pitch and then the next one is not near where he's looking to put it.
This is start number 6 for Dallas. That's a foul ball, out of play. 1-2. Even though the Twins have really struggled, going 7-18, they've won all 3 of their games against the American League West. They swept the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in a 3-game series immediately after starting the season 0-9. In for a strike, and that's it for Escobar. Second punch out for Keuchel.
One of the things we talk about with Dallas, along with his natural stuff, the sinker, the slider, and the changeup, is the way he'll work the inside corner. And boy, that's really carving it well on both sides of the plate. It's one of the at-bats you look at for Dallas and say, okay, that's as sharp as you want to see. Keep repeating.
Eddie Rosario, the left fielder, with a .190 average, has 3 homers. He's driven in 6. 24 years old, from Puerto Rico. Altuve with the flip. Correa stretching, firing, and making it a 4-6-3 double play. 2 twin killings in 2 innings for Dallas Keuchel. That's a 10-pitch frame, no score.
Lumber as we take a look at what the Astros have done against these Minnesota Twins since 2013. Over the last few years, you see Luis Valbuena breaking one down the right side, driving in runs. Carlos Gomez sliding in at the plate, and of course Colby Rasmus launching the long ball as he is wont to do. In 7 wins against the Twins since 2013, the Astros have torn it up, hitting .316, 14 bombs, 55 runs. In the losses, 6 of them, it's gone the other way. The Astros have only scored 10 runs in those 6 losses. And so obviously you're hoping the Astros can catch fire and make that kind of be the theme here in this 3-game set.
Evan Gattis with a .229 average has 1 homer. He's driven in 6. First pitch slider comes in for strike 1 to Gattis. Evan was 5 for 16 on the road trip with a homer, 5 runs batted in. No balls, 2 strikes. It takes a guy a little while to get his timing if he hasn't had much spring training right after surgery, Ash.
I think it takes most guys a good period of time to get themselves completely ready. It's that rare player that can just pick up the bat, and do the ride the bicycle thing. But there are some of those guys.
Well, we saw one in Ryan Braun, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. He needed, about 6-8 at-bats on the spring, and he was ready to rake as soon as he got into the season. But he is one of those rare players.
Usually the players get so much work in spring training. They can't keep up that pace, of course, once the regular season starts. So if that's the norm, then Evan Gattis has come at this season from a totally different angle.
Yeah, I think that norm for position players is much too long, and I'll underline much. For the pitchers, they've got to be able to build up for innings.
That's a punch out, number 2. Next year, World Baseball Classic again, even a longer spring training, right?
Oh, joyous times, huh?
Yeah. Well, Berrios looks good with his early stuff, facing Preston Tucker now. Preston was 1 for 8 in the Oakland series, 2 for 14 on the road trip to get him to those numbers this season.
See, I've got that bad attitude, Brownie. As a player, you're just so anxious to get to opening day.
Yeah.
It's hard to hang around.
Yeah. Strike to Tucker. Well, Berrios gave up some hits off his fastball in that first start against Cleveland to the tune of a .364 batting average. That one comes inside to even the count at 1-1.
It's got a nice rhythm in his delivery. It actually reminds me of somebody from long ago, a great right-handed pitcher for the Dodgers, Don Drysdale.
Fly ball hit well, right field. Sano back. Preston Tucker makes it 1-0 Houston. Number 3 for Tucker.
This is one of the things you have to love about Preston Tucker. He's not getting a lot of chances to play, but he's always a threat. And it looked like he got a changeup here, reached out almost one-handed style, and yanked it out of here. Love that threat he brings to the game. Watch the reach, just trying to get to the changeup, and that provides great extension right there.
He really bent that back knee to get down there, Ash.
And we've seen him show that authority the other way, on top of being able to pull it out of the park.
Marwin Gonzalez takes ball 1 after a 364-footer by Tucker. That was really a great replay showing Tucker getting his legs into the swing.
Strong young man, and he is he's pretty burly, and he's very intense at the plate.
It's 2-0. Marwin at .213 has 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. Marwin was 1 for 10 on the road trip with an RBI.
Take a look at the catch of the home run ball. Don't need no stinking glove.
This guy's been there before,
Yeah,
Ash.
he has. Yeah, see, he doesn't even keep it in the hat. He just immediately flips it out off the shoulder, going to roll it around his neck.
That's some real flair. Doing it off the shoulder like that.
Preston's a little upset. He doesn't want people dealing with his home run balls that handily.
How beautifully did he weigh back on that changeup?
He's got some terrific hands.
3-2. He'll have to preserve that one for future reference.
Yeah, they've got that one on film, young man. We'll be watching that for years to come.
Yeah, little Johnny, you've got to flip it out of your cap right onto your right shoulder, balance it there, and then brandish it for the crowd.
Dad, you're a megastar.
Bounce to the right of Dozier. 2 down.
Catch the deal of the season with Coca-Cola Double Play Tuesdays. Receive 2 View Deck 2 tickets for tomorrow's game against the Twins for just $2. Make that $22. Don't get crazy. Bring 2 Powerade labels to the Minute Maid Park box office to purchase your tickets.
You are a discount-oriented guy.
You know what? I went a little overboard with that one.
You know what?
$22.
$22, and also it's Teacher Appreciation Night at Minute Maid Park tomorrow. Luis Valbuena bats 0 for his last 14, but he was very confident before this game tonight. His ball 183, 4 runs batted in after a 25 home run season last year, but he had a positive outlook as he sat at his locker before this game, and that's what baseball really requires. Boy, it's a constant regrouping, isn't it?
What, were you in there razzing him and he said, no, I'm ready to go tonight?
I was asking him, do you realize you're getting more pitches per plate appearance than anybody? He said, no. He said, it's not helping.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can talk about, hey, you're doing this more than anybody else. What does it look like on the scoreboard?
4.75 pitches per plate appearance. Actually, he's second in the majors in that sense.
Who's number 1?
I can't remember.
See, I'm really hoping it's somebody hitting about 380.
Right. Well, he gets a 4-pitch walk. And that's his 10th walk of the season. To bring up Jason Castro. You know, watching you and Blummer and Julia as Castro batted in that game, it looked like an improved Jason Castro yesterday. He just really knew what not to swing at and got good results yesterday.
Agreed, and when he is swinging, he's making solid contact right now. He did come up with one cheapie, but those are good to come up with. What I'm seeing with Jason is he's quieting down the hands again, and when I watched Jason in 2013, the All-Star campaign, I thought he had really steady hands. A guy that hit like that with great success on his career, Paul Molitor.
Astros on a 3-game hitting streak. You saw the numbers. They speak to a rough month of April. There's strike 1, but yesterday single to left field. In the 4th inning, he drove that ball to the left field corner and it was caught, and then a walk, and then a strikeout looking. But the first 3 times up, he did some positive things. One and one.
Yeah, I remember watching Paul Molitor and his 3,000 some odd hits. His hands with the bat would stay perfectly still until it was the instant that he started the swing, and then it was directly to the ball.
Yeah, that was textbook, wasn't it?
Not many guys can do it, but that was one of the things I noticed about Jason Castro a few seasons back.
Ooh, he drops down a bunt. Berrios lost it. That's going to be a bunt single. He tried to play it with a glove hand, and it's ruled a single for Castro in a 4-game hitting streak.
I love it. And anybody can say all they want about, we don't care if you pick up a bunt hit. Baloney. You don't want Castro getting a hit right here. It's well played. Jason knew it was dig time, and they might have had a play on him if Berrios comes up with this cleanly. That urge to rush, always a part of that play.
Now, table setters for Altuve. Castro at first, Valbuena at second, have started this 2-out rally after the 1-out homer by Tucker. And Altuve, who had the broken bat, shallow pop-up to second, is in an RBI situation. The Astros as a team are dead last with runners in scoring position in the majors. hitting .200 as a team. He fouls it for strike one. Good cut there by Jose.
One guy who has no fear about any situation you can present him at the plate, Jose Altuve.
George Springer's on deck.
I'll throw Colby Rasmus in there as well. Colby is he's legit to go get any RBI presented.
1-1. Altuve is third in total bases in the American League. And a rollicking strong start for him, including 11 doubles. He's tied for the AL lead in that department, and he leads in steals with 9. Bounced off the plate. Berrios gets it. 1 run, 2 hits. Tucker goes deep on a 1-1 changeup to make it 1-0 Houston through 2.
Astros on top 1-0 thanks to a Preston Tucker home run. Now, this is a great week of golf here in Houston as the Insperity Invitational is being played at the Woodlands, the tournament course out there. Some of the best names on the Champions Tour in town. John Daly making his debut there this year. Ian Woosnam is the defending champ. And Colin Montgomery, who joins me now, is going to play this year. Great to have you back in Houston.
Well, thank you very much. This is my hometown, really, having been at university here. So yeah. I graduated HBU back in the mid-'80s, and delighted to be home. Yeah.
It's going to be a fun event out there. I know you love the course. It sets up well for you, doesn't it?
Well, it does indeed. It was ranked our #1 tournament last year. The players vote on which they think's the best event on and off the course, and Insperity Invitational came out #1. So, we're all looking forward to the event indeed. Yeah.
And it serves as sort of a warm-up for you guys as you're getting very close now to the string of 5 majors on the Champions Tour.
Yeah, indeed. This is the last event before we start our major push. We start our majors in a couple of weeks' time in Alabama, going up to Harbor Shores in Michigan for the USPGA. So, yeah, 5 majors. It gives us one more chance here, doesn't it? 4's normal. So it gives us 5, and it's great to have a day off here Monday evening, quite relaxing before the serious business starts down here at the Houston Astros. Fantastic fun.
Yeah, let's talk about you got great seats here. You got the owner's seats, so these aren't bad.
This is these seats, isn't it? You can't really get any closer, and you wouldn't want to get any closer, It's coming at you a long way, but it's interesting to see the swing of the ball and to see what happens. You don't often pick it up on television, what happening to the pitches and what happens, so it's very interesting to see it firsthand.
Yeah, you got a front row seat. Well, the other thing I wanted to ask you about is Ryder Cup, because I know how much you love that.
Sure, yeah.
What are your thoughts heading down that road?
Well, it's interesting watching Minnesota here, isn't it? Because that's where it's held this year, over at Hazeltine there, and it's going to be close. It always is. Of course, the Ryder Cup's a fantastic event, probably the event within golf, and it does transcend golf and into a sporting event. It's fantastic, and I think it's going to be very close again. it's about time you guys actually won it, you know? It's about time you actually got your finger out and actually won this thing, you know?
I'm glad you said that, not me.
But at the same time, I hope you don't, with all respect.
Understood. Well, we are certainly looking forward to having you here all week long.
Well, thank you.
Get out to the Woodlands Country Club and check out the Insperity Invitational, the Champions Tour, some of the all-time greats in the game of golf, including this guy right here. Thanks for being with us.
Not at all, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
A lot of talent in town. Yeah, it's a good glimpse ahead at the Insperity Classic. Thank you, Bart, for that. 2 ground ball outs by Murphy and Nunez. Now it's Santana. And Keuchel has a nice start here toward the 30. Needed 2 double play balls in the first 2 innings. There's ball 1 to Santana, who struck out to open the game. Now that's going to be a terrific golf event this week. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shell Houston Open and the Insperity Classic. We do have some terrific golf played here in Houston, close together. Let's see, Ash, you're counting? What are you counting?
I was actually trying to figure out what Monty meant by get your finger out and get that championship this year, but put the ring on it, maybe, I guess.
He gave us a little ribbing there in the Ryder Cup, right? 2 balls and 2 strikes to Santana.
How about the Scottish golfers, the great golf coming out of that country?
Foul ball on the ground keeps the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, we talked earlier, Ash, about these 2 clubs and what they accomplished as young clubs last year. The Astros winning 86 games, and the Minnesota Twins were just a few behind. They wound up with 83. Now, a lot of these guys are back to continue what they started, but they don't have a lot of experience still. Struck him out looking, and Keuchel, with his experience, has another 10-pitch inning. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Astros. Baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Jumbo-licious Jumbo meal before it's gone. Only at Jack in the Box. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. And Correa will come up second in the home 3rd inning. These fans watching a 1-0 game on the Preston Tucker homer in the 2nd inning. Off Jose Berrios. Berrios is getting set to face George Springer for the 2nd time. Springer grounded out to shortstop in the 1st inning. Astros are 8th in the league in runs scored. They've been outscored by their opponents by 32 runs this season coming into this game. First pitch breaking pitch is strike 1. They did play a clean game yesterday, Ash, winning on only 2 hits. How rare is that?
When one of those hits is a home run, Jose Altuve's leadoff job, and then they get a sac fly from Colby Rasmus to drive in the other run, you're fortunate to win. But like you say, it was cleanly played, and that's becoming a little bit more of a theme for the team.
It's only the 14th time in the history of the Astros they've won a game when getting 2 hits.
They played such good defense behind Doug Fister.
That was the other part of it. Really a lot of effort, including Springer robbing Coco Crisp with that diving catch in right. That one almost clipped him on the left leg. 2-2. There was a lot of effort and a lot of well played games for the Astros recently, but yesterday they made just the 2 hits work, and they were out hit in that game 8-2. That's extremely rare for a team to win in that circumstance. 3-2. One thing that A.J. Hinch pointed out was that the Astros drew 7 walks in that game, though. Also,
there was also the Luke Gregerson 1-2-3 9th inning, and really nice to see. He's gone out there in the closer role and completed it very calmly this year.
Springer works a walk to lead it off. That's the 3rd walk for Barrios.
Glance at some of that defense from yesterday's game behind Doug Fister. That turned out to be a tough play and a bang play. They reviewed it at second base. The out stood. There was George Springer on the diving plays. We grow accustomed sometimes to seeing that, almost routine. But Carlos Correa was dealing at shortstop. There was solid play at first base from Tyler as he was able to take that one to the bag. In fact, he's been pretty darn good in this regard.
That was an excellent game for Tyler White with a glove. Correa worked a walk in the 1st inning. There's strike 1 to Carlos. Carlos was born in Ponce, Puerto Rico. Lives in Santa Isabel.
There's a lot of talk these days about getting deep into counts and everything. And sometimes I think a hitter like Carlos Correa, the guys that have the ability to drive it, take some pitches they can just crush early in the count.
1 ball, 1 strike. The Astros are 4-6 at home. They're 4-11 on the road. Inside for a ball. That makes it 2-1 for Barrios. So tomorrow night, Alex Meyer will get the start for the Twins against Colin McHugh. Wednesday night, Phil Hughes will take the ball for Minnesota against Mike Fiers. Sixteen of the Astros' 29 games in May are at home. Now 3-1 for Correa. Last time he had the 3-1 count when he worked ball 4.
It's about the 3rd time already that Correa has seen that pitch just under the knees from Barrios.
Evan Gattis saying the skipper talk it over. Now the Twins are 2-11 with their starting rotation, with a 4.54 ERA as they've struggled out of the gate this year. This is the 5th 3-ball count for Barrios. And it is ball 4 again. Back-to-back walks, 4 for the game. And a visit to the mound is coming up next. Neil Allen's the pitching coach of the Twins.
He was a fearless reliever. Maybe imparting some of that don't want to be pitching from behind kind of talk, but now you've got the guy who seems to love the chance to drive in runs, Colby Rasmus, coming to the plate. Paul Molitor didn't shy away from any opportunity to hang out some hits.
Both these managers have really relied on their young talent. With young talent, there are going to be ups and downs until they get established. How long do you feel on average that it would take most players to reach kind of a norm as a major league player and for things to smooth out a little bit? 3-4 years, something like that, Ash?
Yeah, I think when you're talking about the normal player, you're not talking about Carlos Correa or even sometimes a George Springer in that talent. I would say you're right, probably 3-4 years anyway, and it's tough to be patient during that period of time. But there are no guarantees that because you had a good year last year, it's going to happen again this year.
Rasmus looks at it. It's ball 1 to Colby. He struck out earlier.
And that doesn't come with any implication of less effort. Even with all the effort in the world, it's just a really tough game.
Yeah. Barrios has thrown 29 balls at 25 strikes. Not a good ratio for a major league pitcher. But he has kept himself in the game so far. 1-2. This could be a key inning for him here. He's down by 1, but he's walked the first 2.
Yeah, I like what I see in the arm of Barrios. That mid-90s kind of fastball guy that can start and bring you that kind of velocity throughout a start is rare. And I think you display as much patience as possible with a guy like this.
Rasmus fouls it. 2 balls and a strike.
Thinking through that home run swing.
He hit some balls that stay in the air for a while on his home runs. Rasmus is a strikeout victim, and that's big for Barrios. Number 3 for him. Now Gaddis, who struck out earlier.
Well, Barrios appears to have the number of Colby Rasmus tonight.
Struck him out both times. Gaddis, who led the club in runs batted in, will get his chance with Tucker on deck. Gaddis had 88 runs batted in last year. There's strike 1.
So Barrios is starting to show a number of sliders now on that first pitch and ability to throw it for a called strike on top of that.
One and one. Both these clubs would love to pick up the pace offensively. The Astros and Twins both averaging between 3 and 4 runs per game.
And that's not going to cut it in the end. Only one club in the American League averaging over 5 right now, the Boston Red Sox. You score 5 a game, you've got a chance to go out and win a lot of games.
Foul ball makes it 1 and 2. Their lineup did look pretty impressive when they were here not too long ago, Ash.
Yeah, and they take advantage of Fenway Park when they're at home for 81 games, and I think that can beef up the mentality of a team offensively. You play well at home offensively, you take it with you on the road.
A hit here could go a long way for Houston. Gaddis with a bounce to short. There's Escobar to Dozier and on over to Mauer. Double play to end the 3rd with no runs, no hits, and a man left. After 3, 1-0 Astros.
Astros on top of the Twins 1-0 thanks to a solo home run by Preston Tucker. Time to now take a look at the Houston Methodist League leaders, and tonight we are talking about most consecutive home decisions won since 1940. And look at some of the names on this list, and you see Dallas Keuchel right there with 18, just 3 off the all-time pace set by Frank Viola. Zach Greinke also having a real nice run there, as well as Kenny Rogers. But Dallas Keuchel trying to climb that ladder, guys. That's an impressive list right there.
He's getting near the top rung. Brian Dozier leads it off. He had a double in the first inning, and Keuchel got tough after a walk to Mauer. Got a double play ball on Sano. Got another one on Rosario in the second. And starts with ball 1 here in the fourth. Yeah, it's been quite impressive to watch him string together this long stretch of excellence here at home. In for a strike, 1-1.
Dallas is starting to find that inside edge. That's a big part of the weaponry.
His long streak began after the final start of 2014. 1-2.
And he brings that slider down and in on the right-hand hitter. Very tough pitch to keep fair.
If you count the regular season, 17-game home winning streak. That's tied for the 8th longest in history. 2-2. Jose Fernandez was the last to do that.
Keuchel tries to come right back in and get that inside edge. Misses just a bit.
Yeah, it was close. Tap to the left side. Correa charging hard, throwing on the run, and he guns it to Marlin. He had a long way to come to nip Dozier at first.
Well, there's an example of a guy who has an arm, but can use it also athletically on the run. And it wasn't just a little flip on the run. He pulls it up behind that right ear and guns it. And I think Dozier acted like he thought he had beaten this play. Let's see, that's
like
quite close, yes.
Yeah. But he's already almost in the dugout. And Paul Molitor is on the top step, so he can still challenge. He's looking back, waiting for word, and they are going to challenge it. And I think they're going to win this one. Hunter Wendelstedt made the call. He'll come over along with the crew chief, Jerry Lane.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bronny. Even with all that Correa did on the play, it wasn't quite enough. Dozier runs down the line well. Saw one with George Springer like this yesterday. And I think this one is going to get turned around. Whereas the one with Springer yesterday, he was called safe initially, and they couldn't change it. It was as bang a play as you'll see.
Right. The key there, and you can see it on the replay, is when did the ball hit the back of the glove?
Right.
And it appeared that it was after Dozier's foot was on the base.
I guess it's that point where it actually lodges in the glove.
Yeah. Not the glove closing around it.
And see, foot's on the bag. That ball is still airborne. So I would think that's enough to overturn that.
And we will soon know. But going back to the Correa part of that play, it was amazing to watch the body control he had, rushing in full bore and then maintaining that balance for the strong throw to first. They're going to rule safe. They're going to overturn the out call on Dozier. So Dozier will go back to first base. He had it right. He gave himself the safe call.
He's going to make a fine umpire someday.
Dozier's 2 for 2.
Watch Carlos Correa once again on the run as quickly as possible, up and gun, and just not enough.
And Joe Mauer threw a walk earlier. Mauer has always been a strong opposite field hitter, and the Astros certainly are playing him to do that. Tucker is over in the left field corner. Rasmus several steps toward left center, and Springer well over toward right center. The Astros do not expect him to pull the ball. He's around to showing bunt and taking ball 1.
I don't know about that. To me, I could see Joe Mauer as a guy you employ the hit and run with, because he's a contact hitter to the extreme.
Mauer is right from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. 2 balls, no strikes. The first player drafted in the 01 draft. 313 lifetime hitter.
And a lot of effort here to pitch away on Mauer. To me, he's ripe for that inside corner.
And for a strike, 2-1. Well, that would seem to be the approach that a pitcher would think about employing very strongly, because Mauer works the pitch away so well to left field and left center.
It falls right into his game, hitting the ball the other way, as you talk about. And he's, quite frankly, not turning many pitches in for home runs.
2-2 now.
And to me, watching him, he's become quite a take hitter.
Yeah.
As if the walk has become paramount.
He's hitting .362 with 2 strikes in the count. That is tops in the majors to this point. Now 3-2 to Mauer. So he's worked the count full both times tonight. Dozier is 2 for 2 in steals. Beautiful night here in Houston. Runner going, and it's tapped to first base. Marwin Gonzalez takes it over for out number 1. Dozier to second.
Let's take a look now at our Ford straight chart as we look at Miguel Sano. Big, powerful hitter for these Minnesota Twins. And you look at where he's hit the ball, especially on the left side there, where he's hot in the strike zone. He doesn't like it up. He doesn't get to that pitch well at all. And down and away, of course, most hitters don't. But you put it through the heart of the plate, and he's got plenty of power to take you out any part of the ballpark, and he'll use the whole field.
All this from a 22-year-old from the Dominican Republic. He bounced into the double play earlier. And for strike 1, Sano can take an outside pitch and send it out of the park to right field. He drove in 52 runs, 279 at-bats in his rookie season. He missed all of 2014 with Tommy John surgery. Not chasing there. He takes the count to 1-1. Sano was a Double-A Chattanooga prior to being called up by the Twins. He had 48 RBIs there. So between Double-A and the big leagues, he drove in 100 last year with 33 homers. Sano has been a third baseman, but now he's a right fielder and probably will stay there. 2 balls and a strike.
Did you see that freeze from Keuchel after delivering that pitch and not getting the strike call?
Yeah.
Just froze, staring in like, where did that miss? I'm not sure. Please aid me in this.
Boy, that looked like it came around.
There you go. Maybe a seam on the outside corner. That's what Cy Young pitchers do. They pitch on the edge.
Now 3-1 to Sano. Park is on deck. And ball 4. So runners at first and second on the second walk of the night for Keuchel. For Park, who dumped a single into right field in the second inning.
We mentioned that Sano doesn't handle the pitch up well, and Dallas was trying to come up and in. He's missing off the edges. That's much better than missing inside the edges.
Excellent point. Yeah, he'd rather not walk people like he is tonight. But the first walk to Mauer was followed by a double play ball. That's ball 1 to Park. A lot of learning to do, obviously, for this player, switching countries, coming from Korea.
That was a good-looking changeup, by the way. Down and away. Apparently missed the edge.
Park takes a strike, and it's even at 1-1.
Park, see that little shake of the head there by Dallas, probably thinking, oh, those two were in the same spot.
Yeah. Park started this season 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Now 2-1. And according to one scouting report, his weakness is the fastball up and in. The Twins signed him for 4 years, $12 million.
It's kind of a fallback report. Whenever we didn't know a player, or a lot of guys you did know, fastball up and in, breaking ball down and away.
Yeah.
It's kind of the fallback report.
Big 3-1 coming here for Keuchel. And he gets strike 2. Park started to take off that piece of equipment on his left elbow, and he came back.
Really not sure where he was going on this. The pitch may not have been a strike, but the bat looked like it went through easily.
Yes, it did. Full count with 1 out. Dozier at second, Sano at first. Big pitch here for Keuchel. And it's fouled away. That's another thing that's default. Every time you say this is a big pitch, the hitter fouls it, right?
So then it really wasn't that big a pitch.
No, it wasn't a big pitch at all. Totally insignificant in the scheme of things.
Other than for one fan in the stands.
Yeah, right. Ball 4, and now the sacks are juiced for Escobar. Third walk for Keuchel.
Follow Astros baseball live and stay up to the moment with Game Day. Live highlights, StatCast, and more with the MLB.com at-bat app. Download the app for your phone or tablet. You can do it right now.
Castro and Keuchel, who worked together in concert so very well last season, try to figure it out here. Bases loaded, 1 out. Escobar was caught looking in the second inning. He will have the opportunity to bat.
What I see at times again with Dallas this year, he's shutting down the opposition for the moment, but he's missing a lot, and it's leading to the walks here this evening.
And his pitch count has run up to 60 already. 33 strikes. Rasmus moving toward left center. Smash into left field. Dozier coming in to score the tying run, and it's 1-1 on the RBI single by Escobar. So the Twins get back to square one, and now Rosario will follow.
What do you do when a pitcher's been struggling, walking hitters, missing the strike zone? Go out and pick one out. He's going to try to get ahead, and he tries to with the fastball. It's right on the edge, but still hittable.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Keuchel. Rosario grounded into a 4.63 twin killing earlier. Started the bat. The appeal goes to third. He checked it on the Pip Gibson call. It's ball 1. Rosario drove in 50 last season. He's 24 years old. Led the league in triples with 15 a year ago. That one's flared foul for a 1-ball-1-strike count. Well, these two teams certainly have two of the best ballparks in America. Target Field in the Twin Cities and Inmate Park here. The Astros will be paying the return visit to Minnesota in August. Poke foul, 1-2. Rosario has a swing percentage of 63%. That's higher than anybody in the American League. He's walked 3 times. Well, Keuchel may get him to go fishing for something out of the zone here on this 1-2. Nice stop by Castro.
He and Eric Kratz have just done a bang-up job keeping pitches there at home plate. Glove came up, but it didn't cost him in this instance.
Well, as you know, that's so big for a pitcher to have confidence in a catcher to be able to throw that pitch, because sometimes the hitter will swing and he'll get a strikeout on it. Now a full count. So he really didn't make the pitch he wanted on either of the last two, and now he needs to come up with something close enough for Rosario to be tempted. Out to left field, the runner tags at third. Tucker with the catch. Here's the runner coming home. Sano, and it's cut off. 2-1 Twins on the sac fly by Rosario.
An inning that is really about the walks and the inability to get ahead and put hitters away.
The Twins are able to cash in on this opportunity. They've scored for the second time in the inning, and they look for more now with John Ryan Murphy. Murphy grounded to third in the third inning. And the other thing this does is put Dallas Keuchel in the stretch for the third time in 4 innings. It's been a long frame for him. Well, these #1 pitchers, though, we saw it last night with David Price of Boston when he beat the Yankees. He gave up 6 runs in that game, but he was the winning pitcher. They're just expected to stay out there and work out of trouble in winnable games, no matter how many runs they give up.
I'll take it on the flip side. They expect to stay out there and pitch as deep into ball games as can be. Yeah. She's just expecting a good time.
There's a beauty.
Yeah, beautiful kids right there.
Two balls, 1 strike.
This pitch count now for Dallas as he scuffles along is not in his favor at all. 80 pitches already, trying to get out of the 4th. I think that's 70, excuse me.
He's been behind far more often than we remember in most of his games last year. That's foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, the inning started with a very close call at first, which was reversed. That has mushroomed into problems for the Astros. Dozier getting an infield hit. Had he been retired and Mauer made an out as he did, there would have been 2 outs, nobody on. Then there were back-to-back walks, RBI single, sac fly. Three and 2. Again. 5th full count for Keuchel. A lot of times these little things just really nag at a team. A close play that's reversed, followed by some other misfortune in an inning. And Keuchel's trying to limit that here. Runners go, and it's pull foul. Great to be back home, especially with 10 games at home during this stretch. A stretch that would be very important to the Astros, and then they have one more homestand in May. 3 with Texas, 3 with Baltimore, starting May 20th.
It's a golden chance to cut into that rough first 25 games.
Ball 4 loads the bases again with the 3rd walk of the inning and 4th of the game for Keuchel. Yeah, he looks pretty disgusted. Now Brent Strom's going to go out.
Look, on the Keuchel scale, this is laboring to the extreme.
I think it's a great time for a visit because a lot of times the pitching coach, as you well know, will play off what kind of reaction he's seeing from his pitcher before he decides to go out. And
he also knows the reactions of all the workouts in between and what has been worked on, what is failing a guy, and maybe that one comment about, you remember last time you were doing this, here's what you did to get it turned around.
it's a 37 pitch inning. Eduardo Nunez is the 8th batter of the inning. He grounded out earlier. And a chance for Dallas there to step back, take a breath, and refocus. And keep it at a 2-1 deficit if he can get Nunez. Ball 1. Trevor Plouffe is in the house, we're told, and due to be brought back from the disabled list tomorrow night, so you could be seeing him at third base in tomorrow night's game. 2 balls, no strikes. Nunez started his career with the Yankees. Twins got him in a trade in April 14. Now 3-0 for Keuchel. He is really struggling in this lengthy inning.
It's a tight strike zone, and when you are not hitting your spots, it gets even tighter because you're just simply not there for the umpire's eye.
Ball 4 forces in a run to make it 3-1 Twins.
And now Brent Strom on Dallas Keuchel. Excuse me, Dallas Keuchel on Brent Strom. Make sure we get that the right way.
He's been an integral part of my success, and we go back and forth, but at the same time it's good conversation. It really is, and I don't want somebody I'm always going to see eye to eye with. I want somebody that's outside the box, and he's definitely outside the box with his thinking and his logic and his baseball knowledge. So I've been very, very open with his mindset and as a key to my success, and that'll continue to be until he no longer wants to coach. But even still, if I'm still playing and he's not coaching anymore, he's going to be one guy that's going to be on my speed dial for sure.
That's Dallas Keuchel with our Geico quote of the game, and that strike zone has gotten very tight for Dallas.
7 or 8 straight balls with Josh Fields warming up in the bullpen, and Balbuena just came over for a moment with a count 2-0 on Santana, the 9th Twin to bat here in the 4th.
He might have caught a break with this one. See the other pitches clearly missing. This one clearly misses, and he does get a call.
44 pitches in the inning. Oh, the fans anticipated but did not get a strike call from Jerry Lane, and it's 3-1.
Well, I think Dallas may feel like it's been a little too tight on the strike zone, but you can see it's just not on the money for Dallas tonight.
Santana broken back grounder. Balbuena to Altuve. And the Twins come up with 3 runs in a 46-pitch inning on 2 hits. They draw 4 walks in the inning and leave the bases loaded. 3-1 Minnesota.
Keuchel, Twins now lead at 3-1. He was not a happy camper as he came off the field. Well, time to take a look now at our Chevy Stro poll. And tonight we are asking which Astros pitcher had the greatest single season in club history with a minimum of 200 innings. Mike Scott, A, Larry Dierker, B, Roger Clemens in 2005, C, and your other choices, J.R. Richard in 1979 is your D selection. So head over to the @Root Sports SW Twitter page to vote in our Stro poll now. Guys, up to you.
Strike one to Preston Tucker. He ripped a changeup for a homer in the second inning. Now it's 3-1 Minnesota. Jose Barrios takes this lead and throws ball one. In the home fourth inning, it'll be Gonzalez and Valbuena following Tucker to the plate. Barrios is the highest drafted pitcher ever born in Puerto Rico. Tucker goes to a 1-2 count. But years ago, Puerto Ricans were not subject to the draft. Fouled away, and Tucker stays alive at a ball and 2 strikes against this rookie trying for his first major league win in only his second start.
Running that fastball up there pretty nicely. I would imagine the Twins are highly pleased with this arm.
It's an arm that had terrific numbers in the minor leagues. Foul tip strikeout. Strikeout number 4. Marwin Gonzalez worked the count full before bouncing out to second in the second inning. In the minors, Barrios was 38-20 with a 2.91 ERA. He struck out 484 in 457 innings while walking just 128. Very good numbers. Valbuena's on deck. Out toward right center field. Santana churning back. Santana reaches up, and that ball goes into Santana's glove. Outstanding catch on the warning track in right center by Santana.
This ball got behind the center fielder as he was able to reach back while on the den run away from home plate. Watch as this ball winds up on the back side, and he had to reach back that way and somehow find it and glove it. That is one whale of a play. I didn't think he had a chance watching ball and player.
Right. His route was a little crazy, but he adjusted fantastically at the end. Luis Valbuena follows. That wind is blowing out toward left a little bit, and that might have been one reason for that adjustment he made. Strike one to Valbuena. It's 0-2. Jason Castro on deck. Fields has stopped throwing in the bullpen when the inning stopped. One ball, 2 strikes. Santana's moving several steps over to his left now. Great night to be out. Foul tip strikeout. That gives Barrios a 1-2-3-4. It puts him at 5 strikeouts for the night. Great catch by Santana. 3-1 Twins.
go. Twins on top of the Astros 3-1. Well, raise your glass and cheer on the Astros this Friday at Pinot in the Park, presented by Houston Methodist. This event features a pregame wine tasting, food pairings, and a stemless wine glass to the first 500 fans with an event ticket. Go to Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to get those tickets. Guys, back up to you.
You working that game, Bart?
I am now. I mean, yeah.
You volunteered for the assignment.
Yes, sure.
3-1 ball game. The Twins lead it. After a 46-pitch fourth inning, Dallas Keuchel comes back out to face the man who led off the last inning. Brian Dozier with that infield hit. He's 2 for 2. And it's ball 1 from Keuchel. Such a close call at first, but it was reversed after Dozier initially was called out by Hunter Wendelstedt. That infield hit signaled the beginning of a 3-run inning. Now he bunts, puts down a beauty. Keuchel barehanding, does not make a throw. And Dozier's 3 for 3 in this game.
Get a guy that is hungry to get that batting average back healthy a little bit and provide a chance to drop down a bunt like that. Dozier's going to take it. Second time tonight. He's shown some wheels going down the line. Good bunt, even with Dallas Keuchel on it quickly. Dozier's got it easy.
And Joe Mauer reached on a walk in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. He's now been on base in all 26 games for the Twins to open the season. On the stretch in the majors. Josh Fields warming up again for the Astros. And it's 1-0 to Mauer. Kent Hrbek reached base in the first 33 games the Twins played in 82. There's Fields at work. And Jock Jones in 05 was on base in the first 27 Twins games. One to Mauer. Mauer made his 12th career opening day roster this year. And he started that day, of course. That tied him with Rod Carew and Kent Hrbek for second most, trailing Killebrew. Fly ball, left field corner. That will be out of reach for Preston Tucker. 1-2, but into that Keuchel's corner area. Mauer is the veteran. 12 years of service time, the most on the Twins club. And one of only 4 in baseball with 12 years or more with one single team. David Wright, and Howard, Yadier Molina. Deep drive to right center field. Springer back pedaling into the catch. 1 out.
Not really sure why, but Brian Dozier had gone all the way to second base. He acted like he thought Springer was not going to catch this ball, and I'm not sure George knew immediately that Dozier had gone that far. Look at Dozier as he heads. George initially seemed unaware of the movement of the runner.
George changed his route, and maybe that fooled Dozier. Miguel Sano's the batter. Sano 0 for 1 with a walk. That's strike 1. Dallas Keuchel had 2 double play balls in the first 2 innings. And the fourth inning really hit him hard. 1-1. He's over 90 pitches now for the night as he works the 5th. He threw 107 pitches in 6 innings last time out. That's hooked into the seats. 1-2. I think that's been something that was not characteristic of Dallas last year, needing 107 pitches to go 6 innings.
He was so sharp that he wasn't often behind the hitters, and he was able to get hitters to hit his pitch because he was so close in the zone.
Into right field. Picked up by Springer, and he fires in toward third, cut out by Correa, and a single by Sano. First and second and 1 out. Keuchel's thrown only 9 of 22 first pitch strikes.
And now our Lexus defensive rankings as we take a look at the Astros outfield. George Springer in particular, we actually got to see him cut loose a throw there, and he can flat bring it from right field. Genuine right fielder's arm. Don't run on him. Colby Rasmus accurate and throws better than you think. Don't run on him. Preston Tucker yet to be proved in left field, but not the real strong thrower of the trio.
Park is the batter. He has a single and a walk, taking ball 1. He played with the Pirates' Jung Ho Kang in Korea. Fouls it back, and it's a 1-1 count. First place Texas Rangers have an interesting series at Toronto starting tonight. Rangers lead at 2-1 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Sean Tollison trying to nail it down. 2 balls and a strike. A.J. Griffin started. He went 6 for Texas. Out to center field. Rasmus backing. It's a deep drive. Headed for Tal's Hill. Halfway up. That'll score 2. Colby has to go all the way to the top. Drops it, picks it up, and now into third. Standing up with a 2-run triple is Park. Twins lead at 5-1 as Park unloads to straightaway center. And it rolled all the way to the top, 436 feet away. That's going to be it for Keuchel.
Watch his swing, and you see the raw power that Park possesses. That is a serious lashing taken by the baseball. Not many balls are hit up in that area.
Keuchel takes the walk toward the bench. It's 5-1 Twins. Josh Fields coming in right after this. We'll check in now and see how the Astros are playing to win. Brought to you by Toyota Tundra. Will this be the end of the long run at home? It has been a fabulous trip for Dallas Keuchel.
Well, he's been beyond amazing to be able to win 17 consecutive regular season, 18 in a row overall, leave the Astros 20-2 in a 22-game span. But not sharp tonight, and the Astros bats are going to have to come to life.
And Josh Fields comes in the game now. Runner at third. Infield in, 1 out. Eduardo Escobar the batter. Escobar 1 for 2 with an RBI. Fields throwing, and there's ball 1. Fields last pitched in Seattle back on April 25th. 1 hitless inning. Josh would love a strikeout, a pop-up, anything that wouldn't score the run. It's a pop-up. Jason Castro in the foul territory now, coming back by the screen. 2 outs.
Be amazed how challenging that pop fly to the catcher can be when you don't pick it up right away. And I don't think Jason Castro picked this one up until the ball had at least reached its apex.
Rosario, as you see, Fields comes up to the plate. Fields with a 7.71 ERA in 10 games. Nonetheless, has been lowering that his last 3 outings. 1 inning, no hits, no runs in each of those 3. He's had a week since that last game he pitched at Seattle on Monday. Flared out to left field. Tucker in. 2 in it for the Twins in the 5th. They come up with 2 more runs on 3 hits and leave a man at third, and they're ahead 5-1.
Fifth inning, 5-1 Twins on top of the Astros in the first of 3. Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. Who else but Jose Altuve when you talk home runs? Altuve, leading off an inning, has hit 6 home runs. Ryan Howard has hit 4. That's this year, by the way. He's hit 4 leading off a game, 6 leading off innings. Marcus Semien and Trevor Story, the big story out of Colorado, but that is the man right there. 6 times leading off an inning.
He'll bat second in this inning behind Jason Castro. Castro put down a bunt hit in the 2nd inning. The Astros trailing 5-1 now. So Jose Berrios is right in the spotlight as he shoots for his first major league win. Ball 1 to Castro. In for a strike to even it at 1-1. He has struck out 5 and walked 4 in his first 4 innings. And he's at 73 pitches for the night. Two balls and a strike for Dallas Keuchel. The numbers are not good. 4 in the 3rd inning, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, 97 pitches, 51 strikes. Two and two, and the Astros would love to get rolling offensively here, trailing by 4, to try to get Keuchel off the hook. Twins are shifting around, and it's a strikeout. It's number 6 for Berrios. Altuve said he was going to swing at this 1-1 pitch no matter what it was. It was a breaking ball high, and that's the way that game started.
You know, there's probably something to be said about that kind of approach. If you're a good hitter, you just gear it up. You're going to take your best hack and take your chances, and the chances were pretty good on that ball.
He is 0 for 2 in this game. That's in the air, foul. There's strike one. So he's in rare company right now. There have only been 2 other players, Ash, who have hit 7 homers in their team's first 25 games after leading their leagues in hits the previous 2 years, as he's done. Chuck Klein did it in 1934 with the Phillies, and Tony Oliva did it twice for the Twins in 66 and 71.
I can't relate to Chuck Klein, but Tony Oliva was one of the game's great hitters when I was a kid. And
you know,
yep.
0-2. So that's select company for Altuve.
Rod Carew went and teamed up with Tony Oliva for some years.
In tight, and it's 1-2. Yeah, those Twins teams.
They had Harmon Killebrew and some other boppers out there. Bob Allison.
Bob Allison, right. Great hitting teams. Altuve backs out of there. That pitch almost got in the strike zone. It's 2-2.
I want to quit too early on that Berrios slider.
No.
Or Berrios, excuse me. He starts it inside. Jose backs away, and that pitch, could have, should have been called a strike.
And now here's a little argument about that call, and the catcher of the Twins, John Ryan Murphy, was irate that that was not called a strike by Jerry Lane. He's been thrown out of this game, it appears.
Apparently his opinion is not highly regarded by Jerry Lane.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't turn around on an umpire, number one, and when you do, you can get yourself thrown out. You really shouldn't when an umpire's that wrong.
Yeah, he definitely showed him up by turning around, and Molitor had to get him out of there.
Most of those conversations, you'll simply see a catcher with his head facing the pitcher and maybe the head bobbing a little bit, but you turn around and you're requesting an exit.
So the catcher, John Ryan Murphy, is ejected, 1 out into the 5th inning, with his club leading 5-1. And Molitor will get another catcher, Kurt Suzuki, in the game.
Jerry Lane looks like he may be urging someone else to be a little bit less loquacious.
Yeah, he doesn't look to be very patient right now with the Minnesota Twins. Miguel Sano was the first player ejected for the Twins this year. Murphy's number 2. Now, will this delay? It's really unusual for a pitcher, right? To have his catcher thrown out of the game. So how's this going to affect the pitcher?
You know, on the whole, though, pitchers like a catcher that'll stand up for them, but you have to know your limits. Let an umpire know you missed it. I'm just telling you, you missed it. And then you, if it comes up again, can't allow this sort of thing to keep happening.
Kurt Suzuki in the game to do the catching now. Batting in the number 8 spot. Really unusual to have something like that happen. As you pointed out, it's extremely unusual for a major league catcher to turn around like that and confront the home plate umpire over ball and strike call.
Odd time for a flexibility routine to be employed, but I guess when you're hanging out watching a ball game, you don't expect to be called upon quite that quickly.
That's for sure, and I know you're taught to be ready, but what catcher would have thought he would be in the game when this inning started?
It's 5-1 in the 5th inning. Our pitcher is rolling. Oops. I'm in there.
Now, what about a catcher's mindset as he's sitting on the bench and watching the way Murphy, in this case, was calling the game? Is he in sync with that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Are you watching the ball game the way you should? And Kurt Suzuki's been a real professional behind the plate for a number of years, and I'm sure he knows exactly what has been utilized and what counts. They've tended to go to certain pitchers. And yeah, I have great respect, and Kurt Suzuki couldn't care less what I think, but I know that people down on the field know him as one of those true pros behind the plate. So I doubt that there's any issue for Berríos.
We don't know if Suzuki caught Berríos in his first major league start or not, but if he did, that would be helpful here, right?
You would think so, but I'm sure they met up during spring training and had plenty of time to work together. There's also that time in between starts, and there's only been one other start, so I'm sure Suzuki has seen enough.
Well, he's ready to call his first pitch of the game right now with Altuve in the box. And a 2-2 count. Slight delay while the catching replacement was made. Altuve looks at strike 3. 7 strikeout for Berríos.
You know, if I said same pitch as the one called a ball, I might be being a little bit lenient.
Yeah.
And see, that is a little more toward the edge possibly than the one called a ball. But apparently Jerry Lane ironed out his program.
Now it's George Springer. Springer grounded out and then he walked. Correa is on deck. The Astros trying to stir up something here. And there's strike 1. Berríos has been in a nice rhythm. He gave up both the hits he allowed in the second inning, a homer by Tucker and a bunt single by Castro. He had back-to-back walks to lead off the third, but the Astros could not cash in. He got a double play ball on Gaddis. It's 1-1. Springer takes it for a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Dallas Keuchel now in his last 3 starts combined has allowed 16 runs in 16 1/3 innings. Fly ball cranked out to right field. Sano out of room. That's Oppo for George Springer. Number 5. Some instant offense with 2 outs for the Astros, and they trail it 5-2.
Boy, it looked like Berríos was just rolling. And so when you get that 2-out, bases empty home run to put a run on the board, you say, okay, let's just start pecking away now and get back in this thing. Boy, he's so strong. Towering drive the other way. Let's just hack through it. Can really get locked back there on that back foot at times. But he is a very strong young man.
Correa, who has 2 walks, takes the first pitch breaker for strike 1. 5 homers, 12 runs batted in for Springer. Now it's a 3-run lead for the Twins. Little roller out to first. And Mauer takes care of out number 3. George Springer with a 370-foot opposite field drive gets the Astros to within 3, 5-2 Twins.
be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
5-2, the Twins lead it after 5. Relief efforts for the historic flood that recently hit Houston are currently underway. To learn more about how the Greater Houston Storm Relief Fund is helping flood victims or to contribute to those in need, visit HoustonRecovers.org. 5-7-0 for the Twins, 2-3-0 for the Astros. We move to the 6th inning. Kurt Suzuki to lead it off. Suzuki's up for the first time in this game with a .216 average for 51 at-bats. No homers, 6 runs batted in. He takes strike 1. Suzuki, an experienced hand. This was his 8th opening day roster, his 3rd with the Twins. Had a good spring, hitting .310. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Nunez and Santana to follow here in the Twins' 6th inning. Suzuki's 32 years old. One ball, 2 strikes on a crisp Josh Fields pitch at 94. Suzuki was born in Hawaii, went to Cal State Fullerton. Had the game-winning hit in the College World Series championship game against Texas. He drove in 88 for Oakland in 09. That's his top RBI year. Late swing there, and he's down on strikes. 3 in a row for Fields.
Not easy to step in cold, but especially when you're facing a guy pumping 94 with that heater down and away. Good location, excellent velocity. Yeah, that was rather tardy.
Nunez drew a bases loaded walk after grounding out. Jacks this one to left field. That's going to reach the seats. The Twins get a long ball and they lead it 6-2 as Nunez delivers his first of the season.
Well, there goes the little bump you got from the home run by Springer.
Nunez batting 9th. Have been leading the Twins in batting average at .373. This is the first time he's gone deep. Danny Santana is 0 for 3. That's the 34th long ball the Astros have allowed this year. They've hit 32. Ball 1 to Santana. Fields has given up 2 homers in his 10 innings plus. Good news on Lance McCullers Jr. today. He had a nice outing in Florida. Towering pop on the infield. Valbuena. Whoa! With the dive, he takes care of out number 2.
The entire infield converging minus Correa, and sometimes that pop-up right at the mound can be a challenge. It's proved to be a challenge, one that was met by Valbuena.
Winds up in the prone position, but without number 2. Yeah, those winds must be really swirling the way the players are reacting. Brian Dozier's 3 for 3. That's ball 1. Flags haven't been showing that there's a lot of wind at that level in the ballpark tonight, but by the reactions of the players on some of these balls in the air, it's been very tricky for them. Sometimes the wind does create more difficulties at a lower point in the ballpark than those flags are showing.
Take a look at that Nunez home run swing. He got a fastball up, and you're supposed to hit that pitch, right? Nunez takes it to task.
Foul back on a big cut by Dozier. 2-1. I mentioned Lance McCullers throwing the ball well in Florida at extended spring training. He threw 62 pitches, covering 4 2/3 innings today. And his fastball ranged from 92 to 97, A.J. Hinch said. This was the best day he has had to date as he's come back from the shoulder soreness. And he's scheduled to start a game for AAA Fresno Saturday at El Paso. See how that goes. Seems to be working his way back. But tomorrow will be the key, because it's always been the recovery that's been the issue with him after he pitches in a game.
Can't get him back too soon for a lot of us.
In for a strike. It's a full count. Dozier just went 4 for 25 last week when the Twins were at home. He's almost equaled that hit total for an entire week in this one game tonight, with 3 for 3 so far. Up the middle. Altuve with a good throw. And the home run by Nunez makes it 6-2 Twins in the 6th. Lead it, and they came well equipped with the Astros blanket tonight. It's a nice cool breeze coming through the ballpark, and Eric Yelding's not even here, Ash.
We just had Eric as one of our Name That Astro guys on the recent road trip. Julia was not aware that he was known as Cool Breeze.
Well, you learn something every day in baseball, right?
You're supposed to anyway.
Some of those blankets have popped up. Colby Rasmus is 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs. Taking strike 1. The Astros hope to get in comeback mode here, trailing by 4 in the last of the 6th inning. And Barrios is trying to nail down his first major league win. He goes deep as he can. The bullpen is busy. No balls, 2 strikes for the young right-hander from Puerto Rico. Fernando Abad is warming up, a lefty, former Astro. Rasmus is down on strikes. That's number 8.
Since 1999, the American Academy of Dermatology, Major League Baseball, and the MLB Players Association have partnered on the Play Sun Smart program, raising awareness about skin safety and skin cancer prevention. Learn more at playsunsmart.org.
Boy, you know, we've both been around people, Ash, who have been outside their whole lives, ball players, golfers, and That is so important to protect. We've learned a lot since we grew up.
Look, I'm that guy, Brownie, and I know you are too. And I've had to spend a lot of time with the dermatologist. We've become close buds, but very fortunate to have him around.
Please take care of yourselves before you go out there. The hot weather is not too far from arriving in Houston. Evan Gattis with a 2-ball no strike count is 0 for 2. A strikeout, a double play ball for Gattis. And Evan works the count to 3-0. The Astros will take any gifts Mr. Berríos will give them tonight. He walked 4 in the first 3. 3-1 now. Sometimes it can be tough for a team to hit its way back into a game, but walks, errors, things of that nature can be helpful. Out of the way, especially against a guy with outstanding stuff like Berríos.
You know, some pitchers will tell you they hate to pitch with a big lead, and I don't know that 6-2 is considered a big lead yet, but guys will change their style. It suddenly becomes pump fastball after fastball. That's when offenses can take advantage. I haven't seen that from Berríos.
Here's ball 4. He'll be watched carefully, of course, from the Twins bench for signs of tiring. A.J. Hinch hoping to see some of that. As Tucker comes up, Tucker ripped a homer in the second, then he struck out in the fourth, but now we're going to get a pitching move.
Well, in my book, this is advantage Astros right here. Berríos impressive on the hill, and I'd be ready to see somebody else.
Well, that somebody will be the former Astro with the outstanding changeup. Fernando Abad will tell you more about him with the score 6-2 Twins. Back in a moment. Lead it as they go to their bullpen for lefty Fernando Abad. Jose Berríos threw 96 pitches, 54 of them strikes, walking 5 and fanning 8. So an interesting combination, showing you that his stuff has been very powerful tonight. He gave up just 3 hits, 2 of them homers by Tucker and Springer, and now he waits to see if he is in the winner's circle for the first time as a major league pitcher, with the bullpen to help determine that. And it's Abad coming in with a very good start underway, actually.
Yeah, I would label the start by Berríos as impressive, and there is no question he will be back in that rotation for a number of starts to come for these Minnesota Twins. Fernando Abad, it's been a while since he was a Houston Astro, came up in 2010, 11, and 12 with the Astros, and now has turned into quite the changeup pitcher, huh? He's allowed only 6 hits in 10 and 2/3 innings.
Yeah. No earned runs. And it'll be lefty on lefty with Preston Tucker. He ironically hit a changeup for his homer in the second inning, and then he struck out in the fourth. Had a great swing on that second inning home run. Abad already had a changeup. This spring he opened up his fingers wider apart on the ball, and he now calls his second changeup a super changeup, and that can be at 63 miles per hour sometimes.
Of course, that leads me to ask, Does he have signs for the change and one for the super change? No, I don't want the change. Give me that super change. Why would you ever throw a change if you've got a super change?
That's true. That's true. You don't want the average change. It has to be the super change. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. You mentioned Abad was with the Astros. They signed him way back in '02. Took him 9 years in the minor leagues to reach Houston in 2010, as you indicated. And then he left after the 2012 season. Washington signed him as a AAA free agent, traded him to Oakland. Twins picked him up before last year as a AAA free agent, and he has really rewarded them. 2 balls and a strike. Last year, though, he got tagged by the Astros with long balls. Marwin Gonzalez, who's on deck, hit one. Colby Rasmus hit another. Jason Castro hit another in a big game here at Houston. Now Tucker works to count his way to 3 balls, 1 strike. This Twins bullpen has lost its closer. Lefty Glenn Perkins is on the disabled list, but has a 3.26 ERA. 5 wins and 7 losses. However, 2 saves and 7 blown saves for the Twins relievers. Tucker takes. That's called a strike.
A 3-1 super change. Boy, that's talking about confidence. He's got that tuck deep in the hand, and he spots it well.
It came floating along. Now back.
Well, that's a good swing on a 3-2 fastball following the change. Tucker wasn't fooled at all.
Abad's career record in the big leagues is 5-20 with a 3.55 ERA in 270 appearances. But he's been used often the last few years. Pitched 69 times for Oakland in 2014 and made 62 more appearances for the A's last year. Ripped right field. It's hooking, and that ball is going to be a long, loud foul.
Super change almost turned into the super clout right there. Watch the arm slow down. That's not the way you want to deliver a super change, but Preston Tucker was all over this thing.
That was a super foul ball.
Yes, it was.
One hopper. Mauer throwing for the force play at second on Gaddis. Gets out number 2. Throwing it to the third baseman. Nunez covering. And Tucker reaches on the play.
Is that how you hold the super change? I wasn't aware of that.
He's working on it.
Takes time. Don't try that stuff at home.
Marwin Gonzalez is 0 for 2. He made a strong bid for extra bases in the 4th inning, and Santana ran it down on the warning track in deep center field. Valbuena's on deck. Strike to Marwin. The Astros managed just a couple of hits yesterday. They've been held to 3 so far tonight. Colin McHugh and Alex Meyer are the starters tomorrow night at 7:10 in game 2 of this 3-game series. We've got Dollar Hot Dog Night coming up Wednesday night. Phil Hughes going against Mike Fiers. Teacher Appreciation Night tomorrow. Bouncer up the middle. Dozier steps on second for the force on Tucker. No runs, no hits, and a man left after 6-2 Minnesota.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park. Minnesota Twins with 6 runs on 8 hits, and they lead it so far 6-2 as we move to the 7th. Join us at the ballpark as we celebrate teachers tomorrow night with our Teacher Appreciation Night. All fans with a Teacher Appreciation ticket will receive an Astros Navy tote. For tickets, go to astros.com/teacher or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Cannot give those teachers enough appreciation, guys.
Isn't that the truth?
I know, I married one, so I...
Very good. Well, hopefully she gets some appreciation.
I heap praise and appreciation on her constantly.
Very good.
Hopefully
if I know what's good for me.
Life has been a learning experience for you, Bart.
Michael Phillies in 2 games has had tough sledding. Looking for better results here tonight as Joe Mauer steps up to face him. Mauer's 0 for 2 with a walk. And Phillies throws the high fastball. There's ball 1. Josh Fields worked an inning and 2/3, giving up 1 hit, 1 run with no walks, 1 strikeout. Mauer has reached base now in another game. We talked about that earlier, so his string is alive for tomorrow, but hasn't had a hit. 1 ball, 1 strike. As for Phillies, who's normally a starting pitcher, he's been used both times in relief. Gave up a grand slam to Robinson Cano Wednesday at Seattle. So still trying to get used to that different role, it would appear, of being ready in the bullpen and then being used in different situations as needed. He's one of the Astros' best prospects. 3 balls and a strike. That talent for a guy who's a starting pitcher working in relief doesn't always become really obvious to the fans sometimes. Line drive left, Tucker with the catch. And it's usually a decision by the organization. Hey, is this guy better off starting at AAA or being in the bullpen here in the big leagues?
A lot of times it'll come down to needs too, and if your ball club needs a starter, sometimes that door can open. The stuff here for Michael Phillies is not far off at all from what we saw from Berríos.
Excellent point. Miguel Sano is 1 for 2 with a walk. He has scored 2 runs. You mentioned Berríos as Sano cuts through that one, strike 1. He checked out after 5 1/3 innings, allowing 3 hits, 2 runs, walking 5, fanning 8. He's in line for his first major league win. No balls, 2 strikes. Ideally, Phillies finishes this game for the Astros.
Yeah, that would be a boost to the bullpen. Back-to-back sliders, good ones.
Phillies just 22 years old, from the Dominican. Throws that one in the dirt, and it's 1-2. He got a little major league time in last year, just 5 appearances. Signed as a free agent in 2010. He's listed at 6'4". Two balls, 2 strikes.
Not one of those guys who has stepped into the big leagues and found life easy. Career ERA in, like you say, just 7 appearances before tonight. ERA of 10.80.
Fouled. Marlon Gonzalez comes over for a look. Well, from one of the scouting report books, his fastball should be in the 93 to 95 range, and the four-seam fastball can even reach the high 90s.
So you're talking about Feliz, not Barrios.
Correct.
Because those are very similar numbers, I would say,
Well,
for the two guys, right?
Excellent parallel there. You're right.
But some guys are tough to pick up, and some it doesn't work out that way for.
Struck him out.
And believe me, you can puzzle and puzzle about it down there. Why does this particular guy's stuff not stack up for another guy or to another guy that has very comparable stuff? This fastball simply slips on by. Arm angles, deliveries, a whole lot goes in.
Strike to Park. Park has had a perfect night. Single walk and a 2-run triple. Oh, 2 to Park. Apparently the bat flips are all the rage in Korean baseball, and Park has had to tone that down. Although I don't know why.
Learn the fundamentals first, right?
Why would that matter? Still 0-2.
Learn what's important to your game.
Him out. Nice 7th inning from Michael Feliz. 6-2 Twins. Bottom of the 7th rally out on Ashby. 6-2 ball game. 4-run deficit. And it begins with a pinch hitter. Tyler White will be hitting for Luis Valbuena. Valbuena 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. He's 0 for his last 15. With this lefty Abad on the mound, A.J. Hinch is going to turn things around and go with the right-handed hitting White.
You know what we haven't had a whole lot of, Brownie? Good old-fashioned rallies.
Yeah?
Let's go. Let's bring one on.
It's a big, great time for it. White has been in something of a slump himself. 5 hits in his last 51 at-bats after that stellar start, 10 for 15. His first 15 at-bats in the big leagues. Checking in tonight at 238, he has 5 homers, 14 runs batted in his first 80 at-bats as a big leaguer. He is 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter. And still with excellent numbers. 475 slugging percentage for Tyler White to open his major league career. Trying to get a spark lit with Castro and Altuve to follow here in the home 7th. Ryan Presley and Casey Fien are warming up for Minnesota. It's strike 1 to White. He showed one of those outstanding plays he made at first base in yesterday's game. He was 1 for 11 with an RBI in the Oakland series, 2 for 18 on the road trip, but was hitless in the game yesterday. Now it's 1-1 to Tyler.
Now, if it feels like the Astros haven't done a whole lot in the late innings, you're probably right. 201 is the team batting average from the 7th inning on.
Ouch. The Great White is ready to swim into action. That's in for a strike. That makes it 1-2. Well, for White, who was player of the week in his first week in the big leagues, it's all about getting on base here. He works the count to 2-2. Shortstop charging. Escobar makes the play. Maybe the last batter for Abad to face. Castro with right-handed hitting. Altuve, Springer, Correa due up after, and 2 right-handers warming up in the bullpen. Twins do have 2 lefty relievers. Abad with this 4-run lead will face Castro, who bunted his way on in the 2nd and then struck out in the 5th. Altuve walks out to the on-deck circle. Well, the Astros, who have lost 9 of 12 in game 1 of a 10-game homestand, would love to get the excitement going by doing something in those late innings. Castro looks at ball 1. The Twins are only 1-10 on the road. Their only road win, 8-1 at Milwaukee, April 21st. So they have a similar kind of turnaround in mind, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. If the Twins do win this game, both these clubs will be 8-18. 2-0 to Castro. And now Jason works the count 3-0. The Astros have not won back-to-back games this season. Three balls, 1 strike. Foul back. Full count on Castro. The Brewers lead the Angels in Milwaukee 8-4. They're in the top of the 9th inning. Chris Carter hit a couple more home runs yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Is that 9 now?
I believe it is. tip strikeout, and that is strikeout number 9 for Twins pitchers tonight.
Last 2 times for Jason, fastballs up in the zone.
Now we'll get another pitching move with Altuve due to bat. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Fernando Abad is taking care of 4 outs in this game for the Twins, helping to bridge the gap to the late inning guys. Casey Fiend is the right-hander we expect to see coming out of that bullpen with the score 6-2 Twins. Back in a moment. Twins right-hander Casey Fiend, who was with the Astros a few years ago, comes out of the bullpen. He's 30 years old, from Santa Rosa, California, and went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. He's 1-0 with 1 hold and a 7.15 ERA. Ash,
you failed to mention the Polytechnic portion of the Cal Polytechnic State University of San Luis Obispo. You better be pretty educated to come through with that name.
That is required, isn't it, for that school? Isn't that where Bud Norris went to school?
I believe, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Casey Fiend was with the Astros in spring training 2011 and was released, so didn't actually pitch for the big league club in a major league game. He'll face Jose Altuve, who's 0 for 3. Casey last year threw 62 times for the Twins, with a 3.55 ERA and 18 holds. He had been with Detroit before he joined the Twins in 2012. Altuve to left center field with a deep drive. Has extra bases. Bouncing near the 362 sign that gets him to second base with double number 12. 31st hit of the year for Jose Altuve.
Bringing in that right-hander doesn't thwart that guy. And now time for George Springer to come up with another big swing. His pitch is left up, and it stays kind of inner a little bit. I think Jose actually would tell you he caught that off the end of the bat. If he centers this one up, it may be a run closer on the scoreboard.
George Springer ripped an opposite field homer in the 5th inning. He walked in the 3rd. Carlos Correa is on deck. The Astros trail by 4 in the 7th. Springer looks at it, and it's ball 1. Fernando Abad in 1 1/3 innings allowed no hits, no runs with no walks, 1 strikeout. Big cut by Springer. It's 1-1.
Fiend has now yielded 18 hits in 11 1/3 innings. 3 of those hits home runs. So strike while you got a shot.
Turn back towards second on Altuve. 4 hits for the Astros, 8 for the Twins. No errors in the game. Each club has left 5. Springer falls behind 1-2. Fiend is 4th in appearances in relief in the American League since 2013 with 220. And 7th in holds with 62 since 2013. Came up and hit Springer while foul. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Yeah, he's been a workmanlike guy for the Twins. 73 appearances in 13, 73 more the next year, and 62 last season for Casey. He really limits his walks. He had 8 walks in 63 innings last season.
1.7 per 9 innings over the course of his career, so he's been really tidy.
Batting average against him this year is .347. You know, if Springer reaches here with 2 outs, it gets Correa to the plate, and the Astros have a shot at putting a dent in the scoreboard here in the home 7th inning. That's out to left center field. Rosario with a catch. And it's no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Moving to the 8th, 6-2 Minnesota.
Move to the 8th inning here. Twins still on top of the Astros, 6-2, and it's time to answer our Chevy Stroh poll. And we have a winner. That winner is Roger Clemens. In the 2005 World Series season, he got 46% of the vote. Mike Scott's great '86 season came in 2nd. At the ripe old age of 42, Clemens going 13-8 that year to lead the Stros to the World Series. Guys, we'll show the fans some video of that great season for the Rocket coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah, that 13-8 was not a really strong record with a 1.87 ERA. Those 8 losses were tough, weren't they? No run support, Ash.
How about the Nolan Ryan 8-17 ERA title year?
Yeah, and very similar.
Then there was the Mike Hampton 22-4 year. Roger Clemens. He put together 2/3 of a season that I've just never seen anything comparable to. And I think he actually did it in back-to-back years, but played defense. He did everything.
We got to the end of that 13-8 season and said, how in the world did this guy lose 8 games?
It was really amazing to watch. Much like the half a season for Randy Johnson in 1998.
The
I've never seen a half a season go quite like that one.
That's true.
But there have been some pitching performances in this organization.
Rosario takes from Phillies. Phillies has struck out 3 in a row now. 2 balls, no strikes for Michael, with Suzuki on deck in the Twins' 8th inning. It's 3-0. Somebody wondered on Twitter why we sound so nasal tonight. Is it the microphones? It's not the microphones.
Let's take off the nose plugs and see how it sounds.
No, the microphones are fine. 3 balls and a strike. It'll get better.
1980 for J.R. Richards,
Yeah.
sub-2 ERA.
Yeah, that's another year.
Yeah, that's the year J.R. went down right after the All-Star game, I believe.
You are correct. 3-2.
That was the first year Nolan and J.R. teamed up. And wow, what a deadly duo. And then trio when you factored in Joe Niekro.
Yeah. Struck him out, and Mr. Feliz is reaching back. He is with 4 in a row tonight.
Starting to look really solid.
Good showcase game for him, Ash.
Yeah, like you said, reaching back 95. So that's really good stuff. He's shown a nice slider tonight. Maybe a breaking out party for Michael Feliz.
Could very well be. Kurt Suzuki struck out in the 6th inning. Well, when Scott Feldman came in with those 3 perfect innings in relief, it really helped the pitching staff. Saturday, Chris Davinsky started and went 5. This could be that same type of an assist to the bullpen. Ball 1 to Suzuki. And the big thing is to get outs while staying in the game, and that way he can pitch multiple innings, doesn't run the pitch count up too awfully high. Carlos Gomez is available tonight, by the way. He's been out with a sore rib cage. 3-0. As you guys made the trip back from Oakland last night, Ash, there seemed to be a question of whether Carlos would have to be placed on the disabled list, but he said he's feeling a lot better.
Well, he was moving around nicely during pregame drills today, batting practice time. Did not take notice if he swung the bat today in batting practice. I would assume, though, that he did if he's available for tonight's game.
I think that was the plan. I didn't ask him. We were talking, but the plan was for him to have a pretty solid workout today to make sure. Tyler White gives way. Altuve calls him off. And that is 6 in a row for Michael Feliz. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 6-2 Minnesota. Presley in the bottom of the 8th inning. And we have some tweets coming in tonight from Tyler Stafford. As if the ballpark pass wasn't awesome enough, my first pair of seats are in the lower level, section 134. This deal's amazing. It is a great deal.
Yeah,
Ash.
that's the sentiment we've been hearing from everybody. And I mean, you can't argue against it. Hey, a couple of those under $100 and take in 10 ball games. You kidding me?
Yeah. Very, very nice opportunity for you to come out. And these folks have enjoyed wonderful weather tonight. They'd like to see more runs on the Houston side. The Astros have Correa, Rasmus, and Gaddis coming up in the home 8th inning against Ryan Presley, the 27-year-old right-hander from Dallas, who went to high school in that area, lives in Highland Village, and last year pitched 27 times for the Twins. 1-2 with a 3.52 ERA, facing Correa, who is 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. Presley opened the season with 8 2/3 scoreless innings. In the air, and Dozier moves over to his left. 1 pitch, 1 out for Presley, with Ken Giles warming up for Houston. Dozier having some fun. Colby Rasmus has whiffed all 3 times tonight. Presley is leading the relief corps for the Twins in innings, and he's second in strikeouts. They do not expect the closer Glenn Perkins back anytime soon, from what we're hearing.
Something about that slider from Barrios was not on the radar of Colby Rasmus tonight.
It's a wicked pitch.
How about that at 96?
And in the strike zone for strike 1. Presley's been in the big leagues each of the last 3 years for Minnesota. One ball and 1 strike. Paul Molitor would feel very good about a win tonight, considering his club's recent struggles on the homestand. 2-4. Twins have already been swept in series 5 times this season. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Something going on with the hitting right now. Just 2 hits in the victory yesterday, 4 hits tonight.
2-2. Now this club has really struggled, as everybody knows, to get things in sync, to work the pitching, the hitting, fielding, base running all together. It happened yesterday. The Astros took a 1-0 second inning lead tonight on a Preston Tucker homer. Then the Twins got 3 in the 4th as they batted around, and 2 more in the 5th. And the Astros have been stymied on 4 hits by Barrios, Abad, Fiend, and Presley now so far through 7 1/3. Foul tip strikeout. That's 2 outs. 10 strikeouts for Twins pitching tonight.
Over the top yacker, and a good one.
The Astros really on a high strikeout pace. And only 1 team in the majors has struck out at a higher rate. Evan Gaddis is 0 for 2 with a walk. In fact, they're on a pace to break their strikeout record they set in 2013. Ball 1 to Gaddis. Preston Tucker's on deck. It runs to a 2-0 count on Evan. Now back, and it's 2-1. The Cardinals are smacking the Phillies around 9-3 in the top of the 8th in St. Louis. Phillies a surprising 15-10. The Cardinals just got swept at home by Washington, and Washington now has moved on to Kansas City and leads 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th there. Can you imagine if the Nationals sweep both Missouri teams on one trip, both good teams? That's quite a trip for them.
Somebody said show me to the Nats before they went on to Missouri.
Well, Gio Gonzalez did the showing for 6 shutout innings tonight. Oh, they are just clicking on all cylinders, aren't they? Daniel Murphy's hitting .375. Bryce Harper's driving in runs. That's a strikeout to win the 8th inning. We go to the 9th, 6-2 Twins. Baseball on a Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota, let's go places. Let's go to Minute Maid Park in the top of the 9th inning. Beautiful night out there. 6-2, the Twins lead the Astros as they come up in the 9th against right-hander Ken Giles. Michael Feliz had 2 perfect innings with 4 punch-outs. Very good night for Michael Feliz.
And Giles would love to have that happen to his slate tonight. 10 innings of work, 16 hits and 10 earnings against him. Pretty easy to figure out the ERA there, and he needs a turnaround right about now.
And he said recently he just does not feel like himself on the mound. Mechanically, he feels out of whack a little bit with where his hands are separating. Nunez, the batter. There's strike 1.
He's got a set of numbers that are hard to figure out. 10 innings and 14 strikeouts. So he's doing kind of what he's done in the past in terms of the strikeouts, but everything else is way off.
He's quoted as saying in the Jake Kaplan Houston Chronicle story, "I'm not the guy I was the past 2 seasons." 0-2. And he says, "I'm somebody completely different on the mound, and I don't feel comfortable up there. It's just mechanical work. I'm just trying to push through where I need to fix those things right now." So he's been taken out of that 8th inning pressure role by A.J. Hinch.
That's a good looking slider right over the top. A la Brad Lidge, and a 15th strikeout now in 10 in the 3rd innings. Find some consistency with this thing.
And some depth to that pitch. Yep. Now it's Santana. Danny 0 for 4 tonight with a very nice catch in center field. Rasmus Shades him well over to left center. He fouls it for strike one. Now, we've seen it down through the years with other relief pitchers. Take them out of the closing role, take them out of the pressure situations, and let them work on some things and feel right again before being injected back into that spot. Rasmus chases it out in center field. 2 outs.
I have to admit, Brownie, that's a curious one for me, for a guy that was aspiring to be the closer. And you know, you have to be able to deal with the pressure of the 9th inning, and anything else bothering you that much, just it doesn't seem like you're maybe cut out to be a closer.
Yeah.
But boy, the stuff is certainly there.
Dozier is 3 for 4. So if you feel you're mechanically out of whack and you go into situations like this one where it's not critical, have several outings, rebuild the confidence. It's about confidence quite a bit, isn't it, in that role?
I guess it is. I'll take a guy with great stuff and throw him out there and take my chances most of the time, but obviously with Giles this season, it proves that great stuff doesn't always win out.
0-2.
In other words, I don't want that 40-year-old guy. That's just a number I'm throwing out there that has great confidence. He's got a lot of bravado and everything, but the stuff's gone. That's not the guy I want in the 9th inning.
Right. Struck him out. That's a 1-2-3 inning, taking 8 pitches, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. 6-2 Twins.
The Astros. Our delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. What we got being delivered? Preston Tucker earlier in the ballgame got a changeup, extended very well, and launched a home run to right field. The Astros haven't done a lot of hitting tonight, but they do have a couple of home runs as Preston got the parade going. Much more is needed right here in the 9th inning.
4-run deficit for the Astros. Kevin Jepson, who has become the closer with the injury to Glenn Perkins, is tuning it up. He'll be pitcher number 5 for Paul Molitor. And the little one staying up late might be rewarded. We'll see if there's excitement ahead in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tucker leads it off. Marwin Gonzalez due up second, and then Tyler White will be the 3rd hitter against Jepson. And as we meet the Jepsons, Kevin is 6-3 and 6'3" and 235.
Yes, he is. And overall, 9th year in the major leagues, 18-27. It's funny when you get a closer that has numbers like that, 18-27. But 22 career saves. Trying to pick up no save right here. 4-run lead.
Yep.
Does have his pair on the year.
Tucker hit the home run, as you saw a moment ago. He's 1 for 3. Infield shifts around, playing him to pull. Jepson was the 8th inning guy for Glenn Perkins when Perkins was closing, so he got bumped up to this 9th inning assignment. And it's ball 1. He was drafted in the 2nd round by the Angels in '02. Spent years with them before moving along to Tampa Bay in Minnesota last year.
Okay, here's your question of the night. Who pitched the most games in the American League last year? Look no further. Ooh. Kevin Jepson is the man. 75 times he went to the hill last year.
He's over 400 appearances for his career now. Bouncer and the shortstop moves over. Escobar. 1 out. Marwin Gonzalez is 0 for 3. Four hits for Houston tonight. A pair of solo homers by Tucker and Springer. A bunt single by Castro. A double by Altuve. Not much doing at the bottom of the order here. Marwin, though, hit a ball well to center field, and Santana ran it down in the 4th inning with an excellent catch. He's 0 for 3. Tyler White's on deck. Ball 1 to Marwin. 18,243 for paid attendance tonight. Mariners and Athletics are tied 1-1. They're in the top of the 5th at O.co. Kendall Graveman pitching for Seattle, so we should see him this weekend here. Now let's make that Seattle starter. That's right. It's not Oakland who's coming. It's Seattle this weekend. And we're going to check it, but they were supposed to have had, yes, Nate Karns. And he is pitching well tonight for Seattle. He's the one who matched up with Keuchel in Seattle, and apparently they'll have a rematch. They're both due to pitch Saturday, let's put it that way.
Yeah, he was tough. He was right in that mid-90s range.
Marwin beats it into the ground, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Padres lead the Rockies 2-0 at the end of 3 in San Diego. Cubs bounce the Pirates tonight 7-2 in Pittsburgh in their first of 19 meetings. Jason Hamill winning. He's 4-0 with a 1.24 ERA. How about that to back up Arrieta?
That's pitching half the time at Wrigley, huh? Of course, it's been cold. It's actually a pitcher's park early in the season.
Yes. Cubs are 18-6, Ash.
They've gotten off to a great start, and they had a very poor spring. I don't know if there's any carryover at all that spring training brings you. Just don't know.
Near the right field line, hit well. And that ball is coming down into the glove of Sano. Out number 2.
Wow. Sano just went right up into the corner, back against the wall. And I'm not sure. I think he was in foul territory. It's tough to tell from our vantage point. Let's take a look at this play. But yeah, that's a fair ball, and the ball was likely up against the wall. I don't think that back was quite as far back up against the wall as I thought.
2 or 3 feet short of a homer for Marwin. He's hit a couple of deep drives that have been caught tonight. Tyler White grounded out in the 7th inning. That's ball 1. Jason Castro's on deck. White takes, and it's 2-0. Tyler has swung at the first pitch only 7% of the time this year. Off the plate, and it's 3-0 to Tyler. Game 2 of the series, a 7-10 start tomorrow night for Colin McHugh and Alex Meyer. Yeah, that's called a strike. 3-1.
Where is Tyler White's body going on pitches like that?
Yeah. Bent over backwards.
That's just what the body's doing on so many pitches recently, and that pitch is nowhere near the inside edge.
Ball 4. Sixth walk for Twins pitchers tonight. Castro would be next. He's 1 for 3, a bunt single. Altuve's on deck. Nobody warming up in the bullpen. Not a safe situation. Paul Molitor doesn't want to warm up anybody here with a 4-run lead. O'Rourke was throwing earlier. White takes off, and there's a ground ball. Almost hit him. On through into right center field. A sharp single for Castro. White to third base. And Castro's 2 for 4 tonight. He continues to look better at the plate.
Yeah, kind of one of those nights with the 2 strikeouts, but a couple of hits. You take it if you're Jason and just keep trying to find it. See how steady the hands were before letting go? Right there, very nice. That would have been just abusive if that ball had hit Tyler White.
Game over, but what a tough way to end it there. You're right. The Astros 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Here's Altuve, 1 for 4, a double. Castro takes off. Altuve showing bunt. They strike 1, and Castro moves over on fielders indifferent. Why not take that base? They're giving it to him. And that takes away the force at second base now.
One more base runner, and let Springer have a hack.
It's 1-1. Altuve has 16 hits to left field, 10 to center, and 4 to right. Coming into this game. And then 1 to left center tonight. Right fielder very deep though, Sano. The shortstop Escobar throws to first to end it, and the Twins snap their 4-game losing streak. This Minnesota 6-2 win means both the Twins and the Astros are 8-18. Final score: Minnesota 6 and Houston 2. First major league win for Jose Berríos.